is to inquire and to inspire. So please feel free to inquire kasi sabi nga nila dun mo malalaman kung ang iyong bang estudyante ay talagang nakikinig at interesado sa iyo kapag siya ay nagtatanong. So, wag kayong mahiyang magtanong kay Sir Benjo. I think ready naman si Sir Benjo na sumagot ng mga tanong natin eh. And then, soon, after the webinar series, yung mga natututunan natin, hopefully, na-inspire tayo para mas maging well-adjusted tayo sa new normal. And then, i-extend din natin yung help natin sa ibang mga ka-sensei natin. Okay? So, tatandaan lang ang ating acronym SENSEI for our house rules. S means to become silent. Let us be silent muna habang nagpe-present si Sir. And then letter E is to engage ourselves. Letter N is to notify us for any problems. And then letter S means to share. And then letter E means to extend. And the last one is letter I, which means to inquire or to inspire. So mga ka-sensei, yun lang po ang tatandaan natin. Thank you, Ma'am Lilibeth, for typing in ang meaning ng ating sensei. Pero syempre, ang pinaka-meaning po talaga ng sensei, ang project sensei is science education in the new normal sessions for equipping and improving. Okay? So, yun na po ang ating house rules. So, hindi ko na patatagalin pa. Medyo mahadaldal na rin po ako. So, let me now introduce to you our guest speaker. So, our speaker for today has been teaching already for 12 years. So, isa na siya sa ating mga expert teachers, mga experienced teacher. And he also has 2 years of experience in the private school, specifically at Senora de la Paz Learning Center in Lagundi, Mexico, Pampanga. So, may 12 years of experience siya in the public school and then 2 years sa private school. He graduated at Holy Cross College Santa Ana in Pampanga with a bachelor's degree in elementary education. He is also the science coordinator of Navotas Elementary School from 2010 till present. And he has won second place in the category Science Strategic Intervention Material, national level, held at Baguio City. Okay, so with these credentials, kahit we will be ensured na we will be listening to an expert teacher. Okay? So my fellow educators and science teachers, let me welcome Mr. Benjo S. Mallari, our speaker for today, and he will be presenting the topic Developing Integrated Science Process Skills or SPS, utilizing home-based activities. So, welcome and good morning, Sir Benjo. Are you there, Sir Benjo? Andito na ba sa ating... Kanina nakita ko na si Sir Benjo. Hello, Sir Benjo. Good morning. Baka nakamute ang mic ni Sir Benjo. Wala po kaming naririnig, Sir Benjo, pero nakikita ko nandito ka na sa Google Meet room. Sir Benjo.
Hello po, ma'am.
Ayan. Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning po.
Kamusta ka naman, sir?
Okay lang po, ma'am. Kinakabahan pero kaya naman siguro.
Ay, naku, sir. Lahat ng credentials, sigurado ako sa ka na sa ganito, sir.
Hindi naman po.
Okay,
Good morning,
sir. So,
Ma'am Kat.
good morning, sir. So, I'll give the floor to you already, sir, ha?
Okay po, sige po.
If you have any concern, sir, i-mention nyo lang ako, sir.
Yes, Ma'am Kat, maraming salamat po.
Sige, thank you po.
Okay, let's start po sa ating productive and meaningful webinar for today. And magandang buhay po sa lahat. Ayan. Maraming salamat po sa mga 31 na attendees for today's webinar po. Grade 6 webinar po natin. Okay, let's begin our webinar for today. To our kind and ever-supportive education program supervisor in science, Mr. Russell Sampson. Sir, thank you for giving me the chance, the opportunity, the trust, and the support that you've given to me. To our moderator, Ma'am Kat, Thank you for the amazing and wonderful introduction about myself. And of course, to all the attendees or the participants in today's event po, I hope you are all in good health, keep safe, and I hope that you are in good condition po in listening, in sharing, and participating in my talk today. And I am looking forward po to gain knowledge to the topic that I'm going to discuss today. Okay po? Sino po sa inyo dito ang masasabi nating masaya at blessed ngayong umaga kasi binigyan tayo ni God ng isang panibagong araw at panibagong blessings? Just comment po to our chat box para malaman natin kung sino dito ang masasabi natin talagang blessed ngayong umaga. Ayun, may nagsabi ng amen. Present, then amen. Praise God. Maraming salamat. And I thought all of us here today are blessed with the blessings given by our God Almighty. Okay po? Welcome po to our webinar. And today, I will be your speaker. Represent ko lang po saglit yung aking PowerPoint. Ay, sorry. Nakikita na po ba yung yung presentation ko? Kita na po ba?
Yes po, sir.
Kita naman po yung PowerPoint. Okay, let's start po. Okay, today I'm the speaker from the project SENSEI, means Science Education in New Normal Sessions for Equipping and Improving Science webinar series with the topic Developing Integrated Science Process Skills or SPS at Home. And the objective for today is to develop the integrated science process skills or SPS to the students in order for them to easily get the lesson at home. Okay, by the way, I am Mr. Benjo S. Mallari, all the way from Navotas Elementary School Central. We all know that science is one of the most difficult subject, not only for the teachers. Personally, ako masasabi ko talagang in my own perception about this subject is talagang mahirap siya. Although 10 years na po ako nagtuturo ng science at masasabi ko talagang mahirap siya, not only for the teachers but also to the students. Why? Because it needs to develop the integrated process skills. Kasi mababasa pa lang natin or marinig pa lang natin yung salitang integrated process tapos skills. Parang ang hirap ng kuhanin ng bata or ma-develop sa bata yon. Pero nasa teacher, nasa pagtutulungan pa rin ng teacher and also with the students para makamit natin yung aim natin, yung objective natin ngayon na to develop the integrated science process skills. And today, allow me to share my simple knowledge about this concept. Allow me to start my talk in an inspirational quote. According to Albert Einstein, the world as we created, it is the process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. What does it mean? Ang ibig sabihin po nito, sa pagbuo ng mundo natin ay dumaan din sa proseso. Marami na ring nagbago. May mga pagbabagong maganda at meron naman ding mga pagbabagong hindi maganda. Now, in times of pandemic that we are experiencing today, how can we connect this inspirational quote to the situation that we have right now. Paano kaya natin babaguhin ang mundo in times of pandemic? Anong dapat gawin natin as teachers? Ang kailangan lang natin gawin ay baguhin ang mindset natin at tanggapin ang pagbabago para maayos ang kalagayan ng mundong kinalalagyan natin ngayon. At alam din nating lahat na ang lahat ng pagbabago na nararanasan natin ngayon ay dumaan sa proseso. At ang pagbabagong ito ay para po sa ikagaganda ng ating mundong ginagalawan. And because of the pandemic that we are experiencing today, we as teachers, we need to embrace the process of managing changes. And one of that is what we called the changes in terms of education po. And because of the pandemic that we are experiencing today, pati po yung mga tinatawag nating learning competencies in our normal case, nabago na rin. From lumped to what we called the most essential learning competencies in Science 6. Now, allow me to present to you the most essential learning competencies in Science 6 first quarter. And the component is all about matter. Okay. The content in standard is the learners demonstrate understanding of different types of mixture and their characteristic. What about the performance standard? The learner should be able to prepare beneficial and useful mixtures such as drinks, food, and herbal medicines. Now, in our first quarter in grade 6, the first 3 weeks, rather, week 1 to week 3, this is the most essential learning competencies. Describe the appearance and uses of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. And in week number 1 up to week number 3, we have 15 days to teach the different topics in connected in first quarter, week number 1 to week number 3. In J1, the the learning competencies is describe the appearance of the combination of solid materials. In day 2, we have described the appearance of the combination of solid and liquid materials. We have in day 3, described the appearance of the combination of liquid materials. We have day number 4, describe the appearance of homogeneous mixture. Day 5, describe the appearance of heterogeneous mixture. We have in day 6, classify mixtures into homogeneous and heterogeneous. We have in day number 7, describe the characteristic of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Day number 8, we have identify common examples of solutions found at home and describe their uses. We have day number 9, define and identify the solute and the solvent in a solution. We have day number 10, we have infer through simple experiments the conditions, example, the size of the particles, the stirring of mixture, temperature that affects of the formation of the mixture. We have day number 11. We have described suspension as a heterogeneous mixture. We have day number 12. Identify common suspensions and their uses. And day number 13. Infer the colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. And day number 14, we have identify common household colloids and their uses. And the last day in week number 1 up to week number 3 is prepare the beneficial and useful mixtures such as drinks, foods, and herbal medicines. Yan po ang covered ng ating first quarter. From week number 1 up to week number 3, we have 15 days to teach po. Talagang most essentials. Learning competencies siya. Talagang naka-unpack siya. Parang kung magpo-focus lang po natin, ang dali nating gawan ng paraan kasi naka-unpack na siya at parang specific talaga yung topic na pwede nating ituro sa ating mga estudyante. Let us proceed now to week number 4, number 5, and number 6. The content standards, the learners demonstrate understanding of different techniques to separate mixture. And the performance standard is the learners should be able to separate desired materials from common and local products. And we have the least mastered skills. The most essential learning competencies is describe techniques in separating mixtures, such as decantation, evaporation, filtering, sieving, and using magnet. We have day number 1 and day number 2. Ito po yung mga dapat nating gawin. Illustrate and describe techniques in separating mixture, approximate of 10 separation techniques. Uh, Mula po dito sa day number 3 up to day number 15, it covers the different techniques in separating mixture po. And in day number 3, we have investigate the process of separating mixture through decantation. Day number 4, investigate the process of separating mixture through evaporation. Day number 5, we have investigate the process of separating mixture through filtration. And day number 6, we have investigate the process of separating mixture through sieving and use of magnet. We have day number 7, investigate the process of separating mixture through picking and scooping. Day number 8, we have investigate the process of separating mixture through flotation. Day number 9, we have investigate the process of separating mixture through simple distillation. We have day number 10, investigate the process of separating mixture through simple chromatography. We have in day number 11 and number 12, medyo mahirap po kasi ng konti, kaya mahabang topic siya, kaya ginawang 2 days. Explain the uses and importance of the different methods separating mixtures in our daily lives. Sa madaling salita, dito sa day number 11 and number 12, ituturo natin sa lahat ng bata in 2 days yung mga uses and importance ng iba't ibang techniques on how to separate mixtures. Ilan ba yung nabanggit natin kanina? Parang 8 to 10 techniques in separating mixture, kaya medyo mahirap siya. Kaya ginawa siyang 2 days. What about in mas mahirap pa? Ang day number 13 and day number 14. Prepare a process flow on how its components of a mixture will be separated from its mixture, and the teacher prepared the mixture. Sa madaling talaga, tayo talaga ang gagawa nito kasi parang medyo alanganin or delicate to our students to do the topic or the experiments in day number 13 and day number 14. And the last one for week number 4 to 6 is investigate chemical reaction. Yun po. That covers our first quarter from week number 1 to week number 6. Maraming salamat po for listening. And I thought we have already knew the different basic skills in basic process skills in science. To clarify lang po, I am going to discuss the integrated process skills in science. And today, I've been discussing again the simplest discussion about the different basic skills in science para magkaroon lang po tayo ng konting reminiscent na tinatawag natin. Okay? Magkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag nating activity. And the activity number 1 that we need to do today is called memory alert. All you have to do po, kung naririnig po ako, just comment lang po. Just get a pieces of paper nearest to your respective location today. Sa mga table nyo, kung may malapit na mga scratch paper po dyan, kahit anong uri ng papel po, pwede natin gamitin. Or you can write or type your answer in our chat box. May 5 questions po ako dito. Then, sana, I am looking forward, sana yung mga maka-perfect ng 5, may reward, may virtual reward kay Sir Russell. Sir Russell, panawagan lang po. Ang maka-perfect po dito sa ating activity number 1, sana may virtual reward. Okay, let's start po. Ma'am Kat, ready na ba sila sa ating activity number 1?
Mukhang ready naman na sila, sir, at
Ah,
excited na sila sa ipapagrab na food.
okay, tama, Ma'am Kat. Okay, sige po, let's start. You are going to identify what kind of basic process skill that I will present. Okay, you are going to write down your answers, 5 items questions, and after that, we are going to answer after the last question po. Okay, here we go. We have first, this is the most basic skill in science. It is made up of by using our 5 senses. I will give you 10 seconds to answer number 1. What about number 2? It is important to notice similarities, differences, and group objects according to purpose. I will give you 5 to 10 seconds to answer number 2. Okay, paalala lang po para magkaroon tayo ng motivation, yung grab daw na food na ipapa-deliver ni Sir Russell according to Ma'am Kat. Tama ba, Ma'am Kat?
Napaka-generous po ng supervisor natin.
Oo
Sure
nga
ako
eh,
do'n.
kayang-kaya po. Pero
Sir
dapat po maka-5 daw
Russell.
po. Dapat daw, Ma'am Kat, maka-5 ah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what number 4? It's an explanation based on an observation. 10 seconds to answer po. Number 5, it is important to share our experiences. This can be done through graphs, maps, diagrams, and spoken word. Okay, I will give you another 10 seconds to analyze, to summarize your answers before I present to the monitor the 5 answers to my question. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time is up. Let us answer now. Okay, tingnan natin. Pwede pong mag-virtual na sound kung sakali man po na tama yung sagot natin. Number 1 is the basic skill is observing. Sino po kaya ang tama? Tama po ba tayo?
Madami, sir, eh.
Okay, very good. Maraming salamat po for the participation. We have number 2, we have classifying. Okay, parang Ma'am Kat, parang ang daming grab food niyan. Kung
Opo,
sakaling
sir.
dahil maka-perfect sila. Okay, number 3, we have measuring po. Number 4 is inferring. And number 5 is communicating. Now, those are what we called some of the basic science process skills to develop by the students or by our pupils. And today, allow me to give a little information about this topic po. Babasahin ko na lang siya and konting explanation kasi hindi naman talaga ito yung topic ko. Just ano lang po, para lang magkaroon po na tayo ng memory about the different basic process skills in science. Okay, we have the first one is what we call the observing. What can you say about observing? It is the most basic skill in science. These are made by using the 5 senses. Good observations are essential in learning the other science process skill. Ano kaya yung pwede nating maging halimbawa dito? Like for example, as you can see in the presentation, a person or a learner in a blinding folded, okay, and make observations using the sense of thoughts. Gagamitin natin sa observation natin or in the process skill called observing, yung tinatawag nating sense of thoughts. Like for example, pwede tayong maglagay ng isang coin, pahawak natin sa bata. Now, he or she will be going to observe by touching the coin. What is his or her observation based on the thing that you presented to him or to her by using our sense of thoughts? Doon pa lang madidevelop na yung observing sa bata. Okay, next we have the learner will create observations about a coin using 5 senses, of course. And the learner will mix primary colors to create more colors. Okay, another we have, in observing also, uses one or more senses to observe objects or events. We have mixed qualitative observation that describe shape, color, size, and texture using a descriptive words, and uses tools like hand lens, microscope, and telescope to observe objects or phenomenon, and uses measuring tools like balance, ruler, meter stick, graduated cylinder, and etc. And this is the sample activity in to develop the basic process skills in science called observing. Ito yung tinatawag nating sample activity about unlit candle. Now, in observation, we need to consider also the qualitative and the quantitative observation. Now, what is the big difference between qualitative observation to the students and the quantitative or observations to the students. When we are talking about qualitative observation, it describes the physical appearance of the object, like the shape, the color, the size, the texture, using descriptive words. Descriptive words po ang tinatawag natin, ang gagamitin natin when it comes to our qualitative observation. What about quantitative observation? That includes the numbers, the values, the numerical being used in our situation on in our experiment. Now, nalaman na po natin or nagkaroon na tayo ng konting idea about the qualitative and quantitative observation. Ngayon po, gagawin natin, kayo po mismo yung gagawa by pwedeng typing din or by using a scratch paper, patulad po yung ginawa natin kanina. Okay, sample activity about unlit candle. The white candle has a cylindrical shape. It has a diameter of about 3 centimeter. The length of the candle is 20 centimeter. It is hard, smooth, and can be scratched. There is a white wick that extends from the top to bottom. Magno-note po tayo. The teacher will show an object to the learners. The learners observe the object rather, and make qualitative and quantitative observation about it. Write them on the table below. Sige po, bibigyan ko po kayo ng 1 minute to complete the table below. If you are the student, what is your qualitative observations to our experiment or to our sample activity about unlit candle? And what are your observations when it comes to quantitative observation po? I will give you 1 minute po to answer this one or siguro mga 30 seconds, pwede. Then, pwede pong mag-unmute kung sino po yung gustong sumagot. Okay po. Sige, I will give you 1 minute or 30 to 1 minute to answer this table. And after that po, kung tapos na po kayo, first come, first serve po. Parang ganun ang mangyayari natin. First, to answer, then pwede po tayong mag-unmute, then sabihin po natin yung mga sagot natin. Okay. What are the qualitative observations to this and quantitative po? Sige po, Ma'am Kat, sino kaya yung pwede?
Sir, may nauna lang sumagot, si Ma'am Shirley.
Okay, ano po yung sagot niya, Ma'am?
White color for qualitative.
Okay po.
Qualitative pa lang, sir, di ba?
Opo, opo.
Ayan, si Ma'am Shirley, white color daw po for qualitative. Si Ma'am
Okay.
Andrea, cylindrical, hard, smooth, tas white. Yun
Okay
yung
po.
qualitative niya.
Okay
Si
po.
Ma'am Melody, the texture and appearance of the candle.
Okay po.
Ayan. Si Ma'am
Yes.
Gina, white candle, cylindrical, smooth. Ayan.
Okay, para po sa quantitative observation, Ma'am, may mga
Sa
sumagot na?
quantitative, apo. Sa quantitative, si Ma'am Shirley, 20 centimeters length.
Okay.
Si Ma'am Melody, size of the candle. Si Ma'am Andrea, 3 centimeters, 20 centimeters quantitative.
Okay
Si
po.
Ma'am, ayan, yun pa lang po yung sa
Okay.
quantitative.
Maraming salamat. Tama po lahat. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Kat, and to all the
Opo.
participants who participated po. Maraming salamat. Okay, let us proceed now to classifying. Classifying, it is important to notice similarities, differences, and group objects according to a purpose. It is important to create order to help comprehend the number of objects, events, and things in the world. It simply classify. Ika-classify lang po ng bata kung saan nabibilang yung object na yon. Okay? And these are the sample activities for this a science process skill. The learner will use a magnet to classify objects as magnetic or non-magnetic. The learner will use a balance and sort objects according to mass. The learner will combine different liquids with water to determine which is less dense. Okay po? And also in classifying, we need to do the following. We have uses properties for classifying objects, identify similarities and differences of the objects, uses graphic organizers like concept map, Venn diagram, tables, charts to show classification of the objects or events, and uses one level, two level, or multi-level classification. Ito medyo komplikado na sa bata yung tinatawag nating uses, one level, two level, or multi-level classification. Magpapakita po ako ng mamaya para ma-present din natin sa bata. Okay. Example of this activity is using concept map to classify objects. Ito po siya. Okay. Ito yung tinatawag nating one level, two level, or multi-level classification kasi napaka-komplikado ng kaniyang ginawang pag-classify doon sa mga objects natin. Ayan po. The pollutants is the variables here. May be classified based on the source. May be natural and human-made. What are the natural na pwede nating mag-produce ng pollutant, di ba? Yung volcanic eruption, the flood, the desert storm, sorry, and the soil pollutants like that one. And we have in human-made activities naman, like burning fossil fuels, industry, farming, domestic activities, air pollutants, like gases, like carbon dioxide. Okay, it simply means that to classify lang po. Ito sa tinatawag nating classifying. Mas madali siya kumpara po sa ibang mga process skills natin. Okay, next, measuring. It is important in collecting, comparing, and interpreting data. It helps us to classify and communicate with others. The metric system should be used to help understand the scientific world. Through measuring po, from the word itself, to measure lang. Ito po, ito yung mga ibang mga activities natin. Medyo bibilisan ko na po ng konti dito. The learner will find the mass of different liquids that have the same volume, and the learner will use technology to find the speed of a toy truck. The learner will measure the distance of a marble travels. From the word itself, measure lang po. Nagagamit tayo ng mga measuring tools dito na sinasabi natin. Okay. Using appropriate tools like what I've said a while ago and units to describe length, mass, volume, temperature, and time among others. And also describe the quantitative properties of objects or events using standard units of measure. Ito po yung mga halimbawa natin. Okay? No need to explain po. Ito yung mga sinasabi nating observable quantity, the measuring tool, and the unit of measurement that being used in the process skill called measuring po. Next, we have number 4 is communicating. From the word itself, communicate. How the students or the pupils develop communicating process skill. Siyempre, by means of conversation, by means of communication based on the explanation to the experiments presented by the teacher po. And it is important to share our experiences, our daily lives experiences. This can be done through graphs, diagrams, maps, and spoken words. Reading, writing, speaking, and listening are involved in this process skills in order to collect and share scientific information. The learner will create a line graph showing the relationship between the speed and the mass of the marble. The learner will discuss possible errors with our classmates, verbally ask questions, explains or reports observation, uses written words, diagrams, charts, and tables to give information, and uses technology to share information, findings, among others, and draws an experimental design. Ito po siya. Okay. In communication po, process skill called communication, ito po yung mga pwede nating ibigay na activity sa bata using a table to report on a weather condition of 4 cities. May mga evidences po. Dapat po yung i-report ng bata through communication and through explanation, dapat po may basihan. Like this one, gumamit tayo ng mga evidences. Then, sila nang bahalang mag-analyze to develop the communicating or communication based on the figure, based on the chart, graph presented po by the teacher. Ayan po, yung tinatawag nating communication. Ito po yung masasabi natin sa mga basic process skill ang medyo komplikado ng konti. Yung inferring na tinatawag natin. That includes the inference. What can you say about the inference? Inference is an explanation on an observation. It is a link between what is observed and what is already known. Ano pang ibig sabihin ng inference na to? Dito papasok ang observation ng bata at yung prior knowledge niya about dun sa experiment na gagawin. Dun pa lang po pag, like for example, hindi pa ginawa yung experiment. Tapos may pumasok na sa isip na ng bata na, ay ganito yung mangyayari dyan. May alam na ako tungkol dyan. Doon pa lang po na-develop na yung tinatawag nating inferring ng bata. Kumbaga, nakapag-infer na siya ng explanation doon sa experiment na gagawin pa lang niya. And of course, syempre, mas magiging makatotohanan yung kanyang alam kung nagawa na yung experiment, kung na-observe na ng students or ng pupils ang mismong resulta or nangyari to that particular experiment or activity. Nakapag-infer siya ng maayos. Now, paano nagkakaroon ng misconception ang inferring ng bata? Ito po siya. Okay, ito po, nagkakaroon ng hindi malinaw na inference ang bata kapag ang inference na alam niya ay hindi totoo, doon sa ginawang experiment, hindi naging broad or hindi naging malawak ang kanyang observation. Limited ang kanyang observation. Then, inaccurate prior knowledge. Kumbaga, yung alam niya doon sa experiment na gagawin niya, hindi tama. Pwede naman natin siyang i-correct after doing the experiment. Or the misconception may lead to incorrect inferences. Yun po ang sinasabi natin. Kaya dapat yung we as teachers, we need to focus and careful po dun sa basic skill called inferring sa bata. Kasi sabi ko po, like what I've said a while ago, when a student or a pupil has a prior knowledge to the experience that he or he needs to do, na-develop na po ang kanyang inferring. Then, habang ginagawa yung experiment, nagkakaroon siya ng malawak na observation. Mas nade-develop ang kanyang inference process skill po. Minsan hindi lahat ng inference ng bata ay tama. Pero pwede naman po natin siyang i-correct after doing the experiment. Like for example po, this one. His or her observation after doing the experiment is wick of the burning candle becomes black. Yun ang kanyang observation. Now, para mapalawak niya, para maging mas scientific method ang gagamitin ng bata through the process called inferring, ano kaya ang magiging inference ng bata? Ito siya. Burning of the wick causes formation of carbon. Bakit nasabi niya yung carbon? Kasi dun sa observation, yung wick of the burning candle becomes black. Yun ang infer ng bata. Yun ang naging mas malawak na inferring ng bata kasi nakita niya nung nasunog ang wick ng burning candles, naging black. Kaya naisip niya, okay, the burning of the wick causes formation of the carbon. Tama naman po yun. Next, we have the candle flame moves or flickers. That is the observation of the student or the pupil. Ano kaya, para mapalawak pa ang kanyang observation, magkakaroon siya ng inferring. What is the inference of the students based on his or her observation to the experiment? Wind causes the flame to move or flicker. Ayun po. Careful din po tayo sa pag-observe in developing the inferring of the students. Okay, dapat po may prior knowledge, broad observation, and dapat wala tayong although papasok man yung misconception na may lead into incorrect inferences, pwede naman din po natin siyang itama after doing the activity. Okay. That was the 5 basic process skills. Now, allow me to discuss to you my real topic. The topic that I was assigned to me is the integrated science process skills na kung saan po mas malawak siya. Kasi po yung mga basic process skills parang from the world itself, observation, infer, communicating, communicate, classify, ika-classify lang ng bata. Dito sa integrated science skills, process skills, medyo it is more complicated compared to basic process skills. And what is the first one? The first one is what we call the collecting or what we call controlling variables. What does it mean? Kapag sinabi natin controlling variables, being able to identify variables that can affect an experimental outcome, keeping most constant while manipulating only the independent variable, and some variables are kept constant while others variables are independent. Now, syempre parang ang hirap sa bata, it's hard for the students when he heard the word controlling variables. Ano kaya yon? Yung control, alam ko. Kontrolado ko yan. What about the variables? Ano kaya ang tinatawag nating variables? Now, as teacher, we need to explain or to discuss to the students what is the big difference. In controlling variables and identifying variables, may tatlong scientific words po kasi ang masasabi natin pwedeng ituro sa mga estudyante natin that involves in controlling variables. We have the independent variables and the independent variables. Sa prosesong ito po kasi, meron tayong variables na tinatawag, the dependent and independent variables. Now, what can you say about independent variables? These are the variables that is changed or controlled para malaman natin ang epekto nito sa dependent. Sa madaling salita, when we are talking about independent variables, ito ay pwedeng mabago. Pwedeng manipulahin ng bata kung ano man ang gusto niyang gawin dun sa particular experiment na yon. Pero, para malaman niya kung ano ang effect nito sa dependent variables. Yun ang tinatawag nating independent variables that can be changed, controlled, or manipulated by the students. What about the dependent? When we are talking about dependent variables, it is being tested or measured sa scientific process. Sa madaling salita, whether we like it or not, kahit anong gawing paninipula or kontrolado, kahit anong pagbabagong activities na gagawin ng bata, dun sa independent variables na yon, may lalabas at maglalabas na resulta or epekto ng dependent variables. That was the difference between the independent variable and dependent variables po. Okay? Sige, like for example po, magbibigay tayo ng isang example dito. After nito po, may question po ako when it comes to independent variables and independent variables based on I discussed a while ago po. Okay, if the scientists or should I say the students or the pupils want to test if the brightness of light has an effect on moth being attracted to light. Now, question po, pwede pong paki-write down your answers on our chat box. Pwede rin pong sa ating mga respective scratch paper ni sa our table po. Okay, what do you think is the independent variable na pwedeng maisip ng bata to this example po? Okay, I will give you po 20 seconds to answer po. Sige. Ma'am Kat, pakibasa po mamaya yung mga sagot, ha?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Kat. Okay, what do
Actually,
you
sir,
think?
may mga... Ay, sorry.
Sige pa.
Sorry, sir. Hindi, may mga sumasagot na, sir. Si Ma'am Sakarif. Tama po ba ako? Ma'am po ba ito? Independent variable daw po niya, brightness of light.
Yun, galing. The brightness of light, very good po. That is the independent variables. Ma'am Kat, what about the dependent variable po?
Ayan, wala pang sumasagot, sir.
Okay, sige po. Hintayin natin sila bago tayo umalis sa
Ayan,
controlling variables.
sir. Meron na si Ma'am
Ah,
Sakari ulit.
sige po.
Behavior of moth. Ayan, sila Ma'am
Ah,
Kalubay, Ma'am Bermejo, ayan.
okay, very good po. Aside from that po kaya ano pa kayo mga pwedeng gawin nating dependent variables based on the situation or experiment that I presented po? Aside from the
Ayan,
behavior of the moth, what else po?
ayan, may mga sumagot effect on moth, action of moth, behavior of moth.
Yun.
Mm.
Maraming salamat po. Ang husay naman ng mga science teachers natin. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Kat, sa participation ng mga kasensei natin. Maraming salamat po. Of course, in this kind of experiment or activity, the independent variables here is the brightness of the light. And the dependent variables is how the moth being reacts to the different levels of light. Sa madaling salita, kahit hindi gano'n kaliwanag ang light na mare-receive ng moth na 'yan, kahit maliwanag na sobrang liwanag ng light na 'yan, magre-react pa rin 'yan. Kahit ang gano'ng gawin, ito yung tinatawag nating dependent variables talaga. Talagang magre-react at magkakaroon ng resulta or effect yung ginawang experiment. Maraming salamat po. Okay, this is the very good example of an experiment wherein the students or the pupils develop the identifying and controlling variables. Ito po siya. Okay. Suppose you want to study the effects of light in the germination of seeds. These are the things needed. We have the two identical shallow dishes, water, 20 pieces of mungo seeds, and the ruler. Those are what we call the things needed to our experiment. What are the things to do? We have first, place 10 mungo seeds in each dish. Number two, place one dish under direct sunlight while the other dish in a dark cabinet or closet. And number three, add equal amounts of water to both dishes every day. And number four, observe the mungo seeds in both dishes for 7 days and measure the height of its mungo plant in both dishes. And the last procedure or the step is compare the height of the mungo plants that grow with light and the height of the mungo plants that grow without light. Yan po. Dito pa lang po may mga identifying variables na, controlling variables na. May independent variables na which is controlled, changed, and manipulated by the student. And the dependent variables po na pwedeng masasabi nating ito yung constant talaga na magiging resulta or epekto ng experiment na yon. Okay, tingnan natin ano kaya ang mangyayari? Ano kaya ang kalalabasan ng ginawa nating experiment na yan after 7 days? Okay, ito po siya. Yun. Ano na lang po, pakibasa na lang po. Ito yung tinatawag nating variables. Variables may be, we have controlled, dependent, and manipulated, or what we call independent. Now, what do you mean by controlled? Based on our experiment that I presented to you, katulad po nitong pinasent natin na to, what are the controlled variables po? It means it is kept constant or treated the same. For example, the size of dishes used, pwede nating paano makokontrol ng bata ito? Pwede siyang gumamit ng hindi magkaparehong dishes. Pwedeng maliit, pwedeng malaki. Isang maliit, isang malaki. What about in the number of mungo? Mungo seeds. It's it is controlled, it is controllable or changed by the students if she or he wants to place five pieces of mungo seeds in one dish, and in the other dish naman he or she wants to put 10 mungo seeds. Yun lang, controlled na. And also the amounts of water. Pwede niyang a little amounts of water to the one dish and large amounts of water to the one dish. Yun ang tinatawag nating controlled, kontrolado ng estudyante. malaya siyang gawin kung ano yung gusto niyang gawin sa experiment na yon para ma-identify natin, para ma-develop sa kanya ang controlling and identifying variables. What about the dependent? The dependent means responding variable of the effect. Ito yung sinabi natin kanina, yung sa moth, di ba? Yung nag-react siya sa iba, whatever different lights level ang ibigay sa kanya ng moth, na ibigay sa moth, magre-react at magre-react siya. Magkakaroon siya ng tinatawag nating epekto. Doon naman sa experiment na pinresent ko po kanina about the two dishes, ang pwedeng ilagay natin na dependent variable doon is the plant height. Siyempre, hindi po natin mapipigilan. Kahit konti yan, kahit konti ang liwanag niyan, kahit marami ang liwanag niyan, konti ang tubig niyan, marami ang tubig niyan, tutubo pa rin yung plant. But, it depends upon the height of the plant. Depende yan sa pag-aalaga. Depende yan dun sa controlled variables na ginawa ng bata dun sa experiment. Yun po. What about manipulated or independent? Means being changed and manipulated or the cause. For example, is the light. Yun. Ang light, pwedeng sabihin natin manipulated yan by the student. Pwedeng lagyan niya ng yung isang dish na konting light lang or walang light. Automatically, walang light. Then yung isa naman, more light. Yun ang tinatawag nating manipulated or independent variables. Okay? That was the identifying and controlling variables. Mamaya pa magbibigay pa tayo ng mga experimental activities that connected with the several integrated process skills. Kasi we are focusing about developing integrated process skills at home. Ano kaya yung mga pwede natin gawin na pwedeng gawin ng bata in the respective home? Okay, we have the second one. It's what we called defining operationally. What does it mean po? When we are talking about defining operationally, is stating how to measure a variable in an experiment. This also means stating definition of terms, objects, or events based on the observable characteristic. What does it mean? Operational is how the students, the scientist, the researcher decides to measure the variables inside the study of the experiment. Sa paraang ito ay what statement or procedures the researcher or the student is going to use to measure an specific variables. Okay, like for example, ito tingnan natin. Example po, stating that bean growth will be measured in centimeters per week. Plant growth and case in height as measured from the ground to the tip of the longest stem in centimeter. Now, paano po kaya na-develop sa bata yung defining operationally to this example po? Ma'am Kat, sige po, kindly tap chat or type their answer po. What is their observation or perception about this example po?
Sige po, sir.
Okay, sige. Ma'am Kat, pasensya na.
Sir. So we'll just look po for the answers of our
Okay po.
fellow ka-sensei.
Okay po. Mga ka-sensei po, ulitin lang natin, Ma'am Kat. Operational is how the scientists decide to measure the variables inside the study or the experiment. Sa paraang ito ay what statement of procedures the researcher or the student is going to use to measure the specific variables po. And ito yung halimbawa natin. Sige po, Ma'am Kat, meron na ba?
Wala pa, sir.
Wala pa.
Yes, sir. Baka nag-iisip pa sila, sir. Tsaka, sir, baka pwedeng i-hide niyo po, sir, yung parang Meet Google is sharing your screen para makita po nila fully yung example.
Ay, okay po.
Answer. Parang may nakita, pwede siya i-hide. Answer, hide.
Hide siya? Wait lang po, Mama. Kasi naka-full screen po siya dito sa akin, sa laptop. Ano po gagawin, Ma'am?
Yung nasa gitna, sir. Yung meetgoogle.com is sharing your screen. May nakalagay hide.
Meet Google, nakalagay po na hide.
Opo.
Okay.
Yung, ito sir, parang tab sa ilalim.
Tab sa ilalim.
Or ako lang nakakita. Ewan ko, ano ba yan? Yung, ayan sir, yung ay, hindi ba siya nakikita? Yung gitna, yung nasa ilalim, yung sa taas sir ng icon ng Google Chrome.
Google
Ayan sir,
Chrome. Ayan, kita na ba,
sa
ma'am?
ayan, 'di ba sir may nakalagay na parang tab na rectangle na pwedeng
Rectangle.
pinutin na hide.
Na
Ay, na
tab
ano,
ng
nawala.
rectangle.
Ayan
Wait
sir,
lang, ma'am.
yung tinapatan niyo ng pointer. Ayan, tapos
Pinapatan ng
hide.
pointer.
Ayan sir, yan 'di ba may stop sharing, yung katabi
Ah,
hide.
hide. Okay.
Ayan sir, ayan. Tapos yung PowerPoint niyo sir, ano niyo na. Para kasi
I-present na.
nahaharangan niya lang
I-present na,
sir yung
i-present na po yung PowerPoint. Sige
opo.
po.
Para
Wait
kasi
lang po.
nahaharangan niya lang sir, eh.
Yan po.
Ayan, tapos i-F5 niyo na ay
Ah,
F5, shift F5 ba
F5.
yun?
Tama po, F5.
Yan.
Yan, okay na po. Ay, balik
Ayan,
tayo sa
bumalik yata sa
bumalik tayo
umpisa.
sa dati.
Opo sir.
Wait
Ayan,
lang po, Ma'am Kat. Wait
ayan.
lang
Tapos
po.
sir may nagsasabi dito, ano daw po ulit yung question?
Okay, wait lang po. Dun po sa ano natin, paano po made-develop sa bata based on the example po. 'Di ba nagbigay po tayo kanina ng ano ng example, yung centimeters per week po, ay 'di ba? Wait lang
Opo
po.
sir.
Ano yun natin?
Opo sir.
Yes, defining operationally. Okay, ayan po. Yan ma'am, okay na ba? Nakikita na ba?
Opo sir. Tapos shift F5 yata sir para yung page yan yung mag
F5 natin.
shift sir, shift F5.
Shift. Shift
Opo.
F5. Okay, sige.
Okay
Wait
lang
lang
yun
po.
sir.
We are live po kasi ma'am.
Sir, ganyan talaga pag live na live sir eh. Ayan.
Okay.
Yan,
Shift
shift
tapos F5.
F5. Ayan.
Ayan ma'am, okay na po.
Ayan sir, kita na.
Okay, thank you ma'am. Thank you ma'am Kat. Ang example po kasi natin dito sa ating defining operationally is stating that bean growth will be measured in centimeters per week. Plant growth is defined as change in height as measured from the ground to the tip of the longest stem in the centimeter. Ngayon po, dito sa example po natin, ano po kaya yung pwedeng sabihin ng bata para ma-develop sa kanya or ma-develop na sa kanya yung tinatawag nating defining operationally. When we are talking about operationally is how the scientists decide to measure the variables inside the study of the experiment. Sa paraang ito is what statement of procedures the researcher or the student is going to use to measure an specific variables.
Okay sir. So ang ina-expect po nating sagot sir, ano po kaya yung gagawin ng bata para ma-test niya
Yes.
yung ano, sige sir. Yun po mga
Okay.
say, siguro sir baka mahirapan silang i-type, baka may gustong mag-open ng mic
Okay,
para
pwede po. Sige po, pwedeng mag-share po tayo mga moms. Mga
mm,
moms and sir, mga ka-sensei po.
si Ma'am
Okay pa.
Melody ata gusto po ata sumagot.
Okay, Ma'am Melody, sige po, Ma'am Melody. Ano kaya ang pwede natin anuhin dito sa example natin na kung saan made-develop sa bata yung tinatawag nating defining operationally based on the example or activity or experiment represented po, Ma'am Melody.
Ayan, may sagot siya sir, mathematical integration daw po.
Okay, mathematical integration, gumamit siya ng measurement. Very good. Yung centimeters po kasi ang tinatawag natin dito. Okay? Mathematics teacher talaga si Ma'am Melody. Okay, tama po. Madi-develop dito yung defining operationally by using a measurement, yung centimeters per week po. Kasi yun ang titignan po kasi, paano lumaki, paano na measured yung pagbabago ng height ng ground to the tip of the longest stem in centimeter. Na-define niya po operationally by using a measurement, unit of measurement called centimeters po na tinatawag natin. Okay, maraming salamat po. Now, another example po here para mas maliwanag. Like for example po, ang bigat ng isang bagay or weight is the number of being defined in the weighing scale. May weighing scale tayo, then naglagay tayo ng bato, medyo mabigat na bato. Then, paano papasok doon yung defining operationally? Lalabas po doon sa tinatawag nating weighing scale kung ano ang bigat, yung number ng bigat ng stone doon sa particular experiment na yon. Okay po? That's what we call the defining operationally po. Next, we have formulating hypotheses. how the students or the pupils formulate the hypothesis, stating the expected outcome of an experiment, writes statements saying if, then format which can be tested. Formulating hypothesis is making a prediction or what we call educated guess or an expected outcome of an experiment. What can you say about hypothesis? Hypothesis, ito yung proposed explanation for an observation. It is a prediction or educated guess for explanation that is tested by an experiment. Like for example, you are formulating hypothesis. Pinakita mo pa lang sa bata yung mga materials. Pinakita mo sa bata yung mga steps to do or the procedures. Then, masasabi na ng bata, magkakaroon na siya ng papasok na sa kanya, ay, pwedeng mangyari ganito. Magpe-predict siya. He or he's making a prediction. Not only a prediction to the result of the experiment, but also an educated guess. Hindi pa naman nagagawa yung experiment, pero may prediction na ang bata na ganun yung mangyayari or magiging resulta ng experiment na gagawin. Doon pa lang po na-formulate na ang hypothesis ng bata. Nagkaroon na siya ng prediction. He or he's making prediction to the experiment that they need to do. And it is not only a prediction, but also it is an educated guess or an expected outcome of an experiment. Doon pa lang po, na-develop na sa bata yung tinatawag nating formulating hypothesis. May prediction na siya. Ganito yung mangyayari dyan. Feeling ko, ganito yung mangyayari dyan. Meron siyang educated guess na mangyayari. And sobrang thankful na tayo kung yung bata or appreciation na natin yon na yung bata nakapag-formulate na siya ng hypothesis based on the experiment na hindi pa nagagawa pero meron na siyang prediction and educated guess of what will happen to the experiment that the teacher will present po. Okay, sige. Ito po, example. The greater the amount of organic matter added to the soil, the greater the bean growth. Siyempre, yun yung hula niya. Pag maraming amount of organic matter added to the soil, syempre, magiging resulta niya is the greater the bean growth. At syempre, gagamit din tayo dito ng salitang if. Ito po, ito yung activity natin dito. Okay, pwede pong sumagot. Ulit, Ma'am Kat, sa mga chat box natin. Okay, fill in the blanks. Meron po tayong integration na English dito. English subject. Okay, sige. Total, we are formulating hypothesis. Gagamit tayo ng if. And when we are talking about integrated process skills called formulating hypothesis, the pupil, the student predicts or make a prediction about the experiments or an educated guess to the experiment that they need to do po. Okay, if plants are not watered regularly, ano kaya ang magiging prediction or educated guess ng bata? O kaya naman, ano kaya, how can the student formulate the hypothesis to this situation po? Sige, Ma'am Kat, ano po yung mga sagot nila?
Ayan, sir. So, from Ma'am Shirley Bermejo, if plants are not watered regularly, it will wither or die.
Okay.
Ma'am Perlita, the plant will die. Kay Ma'am Glorioso, it will die. Kay Ma'am
Okay.
Maybe the plants withered. From Ma'am Melody, not all plants will die. Or
Okay.
kay Ma'am Melissa Bautista, it will die po.
Okay po. Yan ang prediction po nila. Doon pa lang po. Okay. Then they will die. Doon pa lang po madidevelop na sa bata yung tinatawag nating formulating hypothesis by making a prediction and educated guess. Pero, syempre magpo-focus pa rin po tayo kung ano ang magiging kalalabasan niya to the experiment after doing it. Syempre, mas importante pa rin yung magiging real result or effect dun sa experiment na ginawa po ng bata. Okay? Another one, Ma'am Kat. If there is more sunshine, then the tomato will...
Ayan, sir. Wala pang sumasagot, sir.
Ma'am Kat, anong school ka?
na Bota Science po.
Okay
Pero,
po.
pero nakakatuwa sir kasi nagtuturo rin naman ako sa grade 7.
Hmm,
Yung topic na yan sir, gamit na gamit siya sa magiging topic ng grade 7 sa mga unang linggo, which is something to
ah,
do with scientific investigation.
ay okay po.
Kaya nakakatawa na sa elementary pala may ganyan na po kayong topic, may mga ganyan ng
Opo,
activities.
yes po.
Magagamit siya pagdating ng grade 7.
Opo.
Ay, makasagot na.
Sige
From
po.
Ma'am Lizette Garzon, grow and multiply. If there is more sunshine, then the tomato will grow and multiply. From Ma'am Shirley Bermejo, it will grow. From Ma'am Perlita, the tomato will be weakened or will die. From Ma'am Melody De Castro, it will grow and bear fruits.
Okay.
Ayan, grow and
Okay pa.
multiply, but too much heat can harm the plants. It will grow
Okay.
from Ma'am Juanita. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Kat. Paano ba 'yan yung mga active sa participation natin, yung grab food nila ha? Ikaw na po
Ay,
bahalang
dapat sir. Ako na
mag-rank po sa
bahala sa
kanila.
food.
Okay
Basta
po, Ma'am
bayaran
Kat. Opo. Maraming salamat po mga ka-sensei sa inyong participation po. Maraming salamat po. And that was what we call the formulating hypothesis. Okay. If there is more sunshine, then the tomato will grow bigger. Okay, that was a prediction. Maraming salamat po. Next, we have number 4 is interpreting data. From the word itself, interpret the data. Ano kayang ibig sabihin nito? This is the process of explaining the meaning of the information or data gathered from the experimentation and organizing data and drawing conclusions from it. What do you mean by data interpretation? When we are talking about data interpretation, refers to the implementation of processes through which data is reviewed for the purpose of arriving into conclusion. And also, when we are talking about interpreting data, it is a design to help the student make sense of numerical data that has been collected, analyzed, and presented to the specific experiment. Okay, paano kaya magagawa ng bata in interpreting data? Ganito po, magbibigay po tayo ng mga process that involves in interpreting data to use the following steps po. First, records data through tables, graphs, or charts. Pwede pong gawin ng bata, pwede sa tables, through graphs, through charts, in interpreting data based on the experiment presented by the teacher po. Next, we have looks for trends, patterns, and relationships between the variables. Okay, papasok pa rin dito yung tinatawag nating variables doon sa pinakaunang integrated process skills, which is the controlling and identifying variables, and draws conclusion from the data. Dito na papasok yung I therefore conclude. Sa grade 6 po kasi after ng after ng experiment natin, ako po kasi sa last question ko is, what is the conclusion to our experiment? Tapos, complete the sentence. I therefore conclude that. Dito sa interpreting data po, papasok na yung tinatawag nating conclusion. And this is one of the example that I prepare about interpreting data po, na kung saan, eto po siya. Okay. Through graphs po siya, we have the height, the plant itself na pinatubo. We have height in centimeter po, we have 0 to 12 centimeters. And we have weeks. We have week number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. What is your interpretation or your data interpretation to this particular graphs po? And the interpretation is the height of the plant increases by 2 centimeter every week. Tama naman po. Nakita nila sa graph na nagkaroon ng increase ang height ng plant by 2 centimeter every week. Equally divided lang po siya na every week ang increase ng pagtubo ng ang height ng plant niya is increases by 2 centimeter every week. Yan po yung interpreting data. Ngayon po, question, pwede po kayang based on the experiment that we presented, pwede po kayang magbigay, yung bata mismo ang gagawa ng graphs, ng tables and charts niya. Pwede rin po. Basta may guided din po, may ebidensya. Kumbaga, may paggagayahan or may evidence na ibibigay ang teacher na ganito. Kasi parang medyo mahirap din sa bata na mag-interpret ng data na hindi niya naintindihan kung ano yung experiment na ginagawa or gagawin niya. Okay po? That was the interpreting data. We have in the last one po, yung tinatawag nating experimenting. Okay, from the word itself, experiment. Ano po ba yung tinatawag nating experimenting? Na kung saan na pwedeng ma-develop sa bata natin? We have being able to conduct an experiment, including asking an appropriate question, stating a hypothesis, identifying and controlling variables, designing a fair experiment, conducting the experiment, and interpreting the results of the experiment. Sa madaling salita, sa experimenting po, ito po yung ginagawa. Ako po personally, in my science class in grade 6, in first quarter po kasi puro kami experimenting talaga. Kasi it's all about mixtures. It's all about heterogeneous and homogeneous mixture and also with the different techniques on how to separate mixture. Sa madaling salita, mixtures itself po yung ginagawa namin, kailangan talaga ng experiment. Ngayon, paano papasok or madidevelop sa bata ang tinatawag nating integrated science process skills in experimenting? Kung napapansin nyo po dito sa PowerPoint presentation ko about experimenting, it involves most of the integrated science process skills. Kasi sa experimenting or sa experiment na pwedeng ipagawa natin sa bata, andyan na ang collecting and identifying variables. Papasok na ang tinatawag nating interpreting data. Papasok na rin yan base sa experiment na ipapagawa natin. Papasok na rin dyan ang tinatawag nating communicating na pwede rin through explanation or explain. Kung napansin niyo po, papasok na talaga lahat ng tinatawag nating integrated science process skills through experimenting or experiment. Ngayon, how can the students and the pupils know na na-develop na pala sa kanila yung tinatawag nating experimenting? And these are the answers for that. Siyempre, hypothesis is tested through experimentation. In doing an experiment, you need the following. Of course, first, designs an investigation, including a procedure to test a hypothesis. In making or in conducting an experiment in a specific class, the pupils or the students investigate based on the experiment presented by the teacher. Now, paano papasok dito? Dito sa number 1 PowerPoint presentation ko na may experimenting. Kasi nandun na ang tinatawag nating things to do. Ito yung mga procedure. Ito yung mga steps by steps procedures na pwedeng gawin ng bata. Doon pa lang, pumasok na or na-develop na sa kanila ang tinatawag nating experimenting. Kaya nga from the word itself po na experiment. Next, number 2, we have list the materials, equipment needed and considers the limitations of the tools and their safe, and correcting handling. In a particular experiment, we need materials. Kailangan po natin ng mga equipments, improvised materials, replacement to the equipments na hindi available sa school. Teachers na ang bahala doon, na creative naman sila and resourceful para ma-replace yung mga equipments na wala sa school na pwede natin i-replace doon sa equipment na yon. Doon pa lang, when the materials prepared by the students, experimenting na siya. Meron ng integrated science process skill na experimenting. And of course, hindi lang siya basta ginagamit. Dapat the pupils and or the students need to handle the equipments correctly. Dapat hindi lang bara-bara yung paggamit ng mga equipments or tools. Dapat may proseso din siya. Dumadaan din siya sa tinatawag nating proseso. Hindi lang basta ganito yung paggamit niyan, o bara-bara na lang, ganito lang gawin natin diyan. Baso lang naman 'yan, beaker lang naman 'yan, pastel lang naman 'yan, pwede siyang gamitin kahit ano. No, kailangan i-correct handling pa rin ng mga students. Doon pa lang, pag hindi nagamit ng correct handling ang materials or equipments or the tools being used in our experiment, walang experimenting, integrated science process skill ang ginawa ng bata. Kasi bara-bara siyang nang ginamit eh. Kumbaga correct handling pa rin siya. Next, we have conduct the experiments while observing proper techniques and safety precautions in the handling tools. In connection with number 2, to the list of materials, then correct handling, of course, kapag tama ang paggamit mo, may proseso ang paggamit mo ng materials na ginamit in our specific experiment, yung safety precautions mo or safety measures mo, andon. Walang disgrasya, walang panganib na mangyayari because nagamit or gumamit ka pa rin ng proseso sa paggamit ng mga materials na yon. Okay? That was experimenting. And also, idadagdag ko lang din po dito sa experimenting the guide questions po. One of the most important thing that we need to consider in our experiments are the guide questions. Kasi dito na papasok yung ano yung naobserbahan. Ano yung formulating hypothesis na masasabi nating pumasok na sa isip ng bata. Then, ano kaya yung mga data na pwedeng na nakuha ko doon sa experiment na ginawa namin. Okay? It involves pa rin dito sa experimenting yung tinatawag nating giving the guide questions to a specific experiment po. Okay? That was experimenting. And this nilagay ko lang side presentation lang po or side story lang po. These are the following glassware na pwede nating gamitin in our experiment. But since gagawin po natin yung mga experiment natin sa home, kasi hindi naman pwedeng pumasok because we are in a new normal situation in times of pandemic, in our situation we are experiencing right now, hindi pwede. At 90 to 100% na yung mga ipapakita kong mga glassware equipments, wala dito sa bahay. Wala sila sa bahay. Ngayon, ipapakita ko po yung picture. Then, Ma'am Kat, pwedeng i-type po nila kung ano po yung pwedeng i-replace ng mga sumusunod na mga equipments na to na pwede pong makita sa bahay na pwedeng magamit sa kanilang experiment po. Okay, Ma'am Kat. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Kat. Okay, the test tube. Ano kaya pwede replacement natin sa test tube? Ano kaya ang pwede nating maisip na replacement na pwedeng gamitin natin sa ating bahay?
Okay.
Mga
Sige, sir.
ano po kaya? Sige po, papakita ko na lang po lahat. Okay, we have the graduated cylinder. Pwede na pong write to our chat box kung ano po yung mga replacement na makikita sa bahay na pwedeng i-replace sa mga glassware equipments na to. We have the flask. Yes po, Ma'am Kat.
Ayan, sir. Kasi may mga sumasagot na rin po sa ating group chat. So, meron pong isang tanong lang kung ano daw po yung topic kung if ever gagamitin yung test tube. Tapos si Ma'am Shirley, clear glass daw po.
Okay, pwede po.
Tapos may mga sagot sila mga glass. Si Ma'am Garson, plastic bottle daw po.
Yes, pwede po.
So, pitcher, syringe.
Okay.
Si Ma'am measuring cups. Si Ma'am si Ma'am Shirley, clear plastic bottle. Si Ma'am Ronaline, empty glass container. Ayan
okay po. Maraming salamat. Tapos po yung tanong ni Ma'am na kailan daw po pwedeng gamitin kung gagamit ng test tube. Mamaya po, titingnan po natin kung doon sa present ko pong experiment, papasok yung tinatawag nating test tube. It depends upon po sa experiment po natin. Kasi hindi naman po lahat ng experiment natin ay ginagamitan din ng mga glassware equipments po. It depends upon po dun sa topic or the most essential learning competencies po. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Kat, and syempre sa ating mga ka-sensei. Okay,
Sorry, sir.
next. Okay po, sige po. Next, we have the auxiliary equipment po. We have the evaporating dish. Ano kaya yung mga pwedeng i-replace natin sa bahay? Mga side ano lang po to, mga pampahaba lang po ng ano ng oras natin para maano natin yung 2 hours natin. Next, we have the wire, the iron stand, the mortar and pestle, and that's a test tube rack. Yan po. Makakaisip naman po siguro tayo ng mga masasabi nating mga replacement sa ating mga materials na gagamitin sa bahay. Okay, since I already discussed the different integrated process skills in science, allow me to present to you the different experiment, some of the most essential learning competencies that I prepared po. Ngayon, actually po, hindi po siya worksheet, hindi po siya activity sheet. Since our first quarter is all about mixture, which is homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, nag-focus po ako sa experiment kasi parang gusto ko pong i-bring yung experiment sa bahay. Hindi lang po siya basta sabihin nating nakasulat lang siya into worksheet, tapos ganito, gagawin mo ganito, blah, 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 blah. Then sasagutin mo lang based on how the student or the pupils understand the question. Ang gusto ko po sanang gawin natin, kung kakayanin din, magkaroon po tayo or ng bata with the supervision and guidance of the parents in the respective house, yung tinatawag po nating mga experiment. Okay, sige po. Pero sabi, pwede naman pong gawing worksheet or activity sheet, yung mga experiment po na ipe-present ko po sa inyo ngayong umaga po. Pwede naman po siyang pagbasihan bilang mga activity sheet or worksheet po na tinatawag natin. Okay, let us proceed now. Let me present to you the different experiments connected with the most essential learning competencies na pwede pong gawin sa bahay. Okay, sige. Nag-isip po ako ng mga materials na available lang po sa bahay. Then, pwede po tayong magdagdag ng mga pwede pa na kung sakali may maipresent ako na, sir, paano po kung walang ganito sa bahay? Pwede pong mag-isip kayo ng mas suitable po doon sa experiment po na gagawin. Okay. Content standard is different types of mixtures and their characteristic. The performance standard is to prepare beneficial and useful mixtures such as drinks, foods, and herbal medicines. And this is the most essential learning competencies we have described: the appearance and uses of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Okay. The title of our first experiment is mystery combinations. Bakit po mystery combinations? Because in homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, we are combining two or more things, two or more substances, and after mixing it, magkakaroon ng mystery. Bakit nangyari yun? Kaya tinawag natin siyang mystery combinations. And added to this, it's what we call the learning concept. Ayun, ilalagay na po natin tong learning concept kasi para kahit papano, magkaroon na yung ideya. Magkaroon na ng ideya yung bata kung ano yung experiment. Kung kahit papano, ay, ganito ang mangyayari dyan. Nagkakaroon na ng formulating hypothesis. Nagkaroon na siya ng prediction. Kaya doon pa lang sa learning concept, may ideya na siya ng bata. Okay. The learning concept here is mixture is a combination of two materials without any chemical changes or reaction. Liquid mixture is common and observable mixture in our daily living. A solid, liquid, and gas can be combined with another liquid to form a liquid form. Okay, these are the things needed. Uh, Note lang po yung mga ginamit ko pong mga materials dito is available po sa mga bahay nila. Coffee powder, transparent glasses, at least 3 pieces, salt or rock salt, soy sauce or toyo, water, and 1 spoon for stirring. Now, what are the things to do? Okay, dito pa lang po, may gagawin na po yung bata sa first procedure pa lang or sa first step. We have, based on the materials listed, the 3 glasses of water and salt, soy sauce, and coffee powder. Using the form below, you will make predictions of what will happen if the 3 materials are added to the water in each glass. And this is the table po. Ayan po. We have on the first column po yung mixture. What are the materials being used in our experiment? We have, you are going to mix coffee powder in water, soy sauce in water, and salt in water. And remember po, dito po sa prediction, sasagot po muna yung bata. Letter A lang po muna ang gagawin natin. Magkakaroon lang po muna siya ng prediction without doing the experiment po. Prediction lang po muna. Dito pa lang, may papasok ng integrated science skills po. Yun po yung unang gagawin ng bata. Makikita pa lang niya, titignan pa lang. Coffee powder in water. Pag minutes ko to, ano kaya magiging prediction ko? Okay? She or he will write down his or her prediction to the table na nandito sa prediction. Ngayon, what about in observation po? Doon na po papasok ang actual doing the experiment po. Eto na siya. Sorry. Eto po. Dito na siya papasok, yung tinatawag nating observation. After mixing the coffee powder in water, what is my observation? What is the observation of the students or the pupils? In mixing soy sauce in water, what is my observation? Salt in water, what is my observation? Tapos titingnan po natin kung pareho ang sagot ng bata here in prediction and observation. But in checking po, wala pong mali sa prediction kasi yun po yung educated guess nila. Yun po yung prediction nila. Magpo-focus po tayo ngayon dun sa observation ng bata after doing or after mixing coffee powder in water, soy sauce in water, and salt in water. Then, explain po on the last column. Okay po? Yun na po ang ibig sabihin ng ating experiment number 1. The title is Mystery Combinations. After giving your predictions, add coffee powder to a glass of water, soy sauce, and tulad nga po rin sinabi ko kanina, then for every observation, write your reasonable explanation. And after, punong-puno pa lang, dito pa lang sa unang ano natin, sa mystery combinations natin, punong-puno na ng gagawin yung bata. By completing the table, complete the table below. And also, these are the 4 guide questions that connected with our first experiment, which is mystery combination. First question is, what are the states of materials used that were combined with water? What happened to these materials when mixed with water? And what is the appearance of the combination of the materials? And write your conclusion to the activity. Yun po ang ating mystery combinations activity or experiment number 1. Question po, ma'am. What do you think are the integrated process skills developed in our first activity? Ma'am Kat, ano kaya yung mga sagot nila? What do you think are the possible integrated process skills na possible na ma-develop ng bata in our first experiment po?
Okay, sir. So, mga ka-sensei, sagot na po tayo. Tinatanong lang po ni sir, based dun sa activity na pinresent niya, ano-ano kaya yung mga integrated process skills na magagamit ng mga bata para ma-perform nila at ma-execute nila yung activity na binigay ni sir. So, may mga sumagot na po, sir. From Ma'am
Yes po.
Lourdes, we have experimenting.
Yes po.
From Melody, ah, yung observation, classifying, and inferring, yun yata yung basic yata, sir.
Basic. Opo, opo, basic po.
From Ma'am Perlita, formulating hypotheses, interpreting data, and experimenting. From Ma'am Melissa, formulating hypotheses. From Ma'am Juanita, experimenting. From Ma'am Lilibeth, simple hypotheses. And from Ma'am Escat po ba to, ma'am? Tama ba? Interpreting data. Ayan,
Okay,
sir.
tingnan po natin, ma'am.
Sir.
Okay po, formulating hypothesis because they are making a prediction po. Kaya nag-formulate sila ng hypothesis. Interpreting data and of course, experimenting. Ma'am Kat, mga ka-sensei, maraming salamat po for the wonderful participation po. Now, before I continue my different experiment that I prepared, magkakaroon po tayo ng note. Kasi hindi po lahat ng parents mag-agree sa ating gagawing experiments at home. Kaya po, always remember po, don't forget to write our note in releasing our experiment po. Ito po yung dapat natin gawin. The appreciation of the materials and supervision of the parents or guardians are strictly advised. Bakit the appreciation of the materials? Kailangan ma-appreciate muna ng parents ang materials na gagamitin. Kasi may mga parents na, bakit ko gagamitin sa experiment na yan? Ipanluluto ko na lang. Like for example, ang suka, vinegar, toyo na tinatawag, pwedeng pangluto sa iba't ibang uri ng luto, di ba? Dapat ma-appreciate muna ng mga parents yung mga materials na yon. Siyempre, pwede ng, may mga parents, kasi po, we cannot please everybody. Especially in this time of pandemic po na hindi talaga natin may iwasan na may kokontra sa mga gagawin nating mga teachers. Pero nasa paliwanag na rin natin yon, uh, the collaboration between the students, the parents, and the teachers are strictly advised po. Kaya don't forget to write the note. The appreciation of the materials and supervision of the parents, guardians are strictly advised. Bakit po kailangan nating ilagay ito? Kasi may mga bata na medyo bully ng konti, medyo pilyo ng konti. Baka paghalo mo ng soy sauce sa water, bigla niyang inumin. Kaya dapat, i-note po natin lagi na may supervision of the parents and guardians are strictly advised po. Maraming salamat mga ka-sensei. Next, we have mix it up. What is the learning concept? The three physical state of matter can be combined with each other. This lesson will try out different mixtures, including liquid mixture, and classify it according to the phase of the produced mixture. If there is one phase, it is what we call the uniform or what we call homogeneous mixture. If there is more than one phase, it is non-uniform or what we call heterogeneous mixture. Dito pa rin po papasok yung tinatawag nating homogeneous or what we call uniform, and uniform or what we call non-uniform, or what we call heterogeneous mixture. And these are the things needed in our experiment number 2. We have 3 transparent glasses, cooking oil. Kung wala pong mga pebbles, pwedeng ilagay po natin small stone. Siguro may mga small stone naman po sa mga gilid-gilid ng mga bahay nila. Buhangin, meron for sure, marami din dyan. Vinegar, sugar of course, pwede rin kahit konti, soy sauce, water, and tablespoon. What are the things to do? Okay. Mix the following materials and observe. Fill out the table below. Ayun. Bago sagutin yung mga guide questions, may mga table naman din po na sasagutin. We have in task number 1, the students needs to put 1 tablespoon of sand and 5 pieces of small stone or pebbles. Write the state of matter combined. In task number 2, we have put 1 tablespoon of cooking oil and 1 tablespoon of water in a glass. Write the state of matter combined. We have in task number 3, put 1 tablespoon of vinegar and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce in a glass of water. Write the state of matter combined. And task number 4, we have put 1 tablespoon of white sugar into a glass of water. write the state of matter being combined. Dito pa lang po, sa procedure number 1, may sasagutin na ang bata. Then, eto po, yung table na sasagutin po ng bata. Okay, we have in task number 1, what are the name of substance? We have in third column, we have the state of matter. And in fourth column, we have changes observed when mixed. Ano po kayong pagbabagong naganap when the two materials combined or mixed? Yan po. Then, these are the guide questions po to our experiment number 2. We have, what do you think will happen to the combined materials? Which of the following mixture is or are homogeneous? Which of the following mixture is or are heterogeneous? And write your conclusion. Ngayon po, ma'am, ang question dito here, paano malalaman kung homogeneous or heterogeneous? Dun po, sa learning concept natin, nilagay na po natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture po. Kaya kahit pa paano, magkakaroon na yung idea, then nagkaroon na rin ng tested na experiment, kaya possible na makukuha na rin po ng bata. Okay, this is the sample laboratory sheet to our experiment number 2. Pwede po tayo magbigay ng ganito. Okay po. Yan, parang ganun din po sa ginawa kong table kanina, pero para mas maayos po sana, pwede nating sabihin na sample laboratory sheet para complete siya. May name, title of the activity, the scientific problem or problems, illustration or setup of activity, then the score. Kompleto na po siya. Okay? What are the integrated process skills will develop by our experiment number 2 po, Ma'am Kat?
Yes po, sir.
Okay po, sige po.
Ayan, meron po tayo from Ma'am Lourdes Antonio experimenting. Okay. So, from Ma'am Andrea, from Ma'am Escat, experimenting. From Ma'am Kalubay, communicating. Ayan.
Yes po.
Impression lang po ni Ma'am Garson. We need to
Yes,
simplify the task given at home. Always experimenting.
Yes po.
Apo.
Okay, maraming salamat po Ma'am Kat and Ma'am Carson and to all our ka-sensei for participating po. Maraming salamat Ma'am Kat. Kaya tingnan natin, interpreting data, of course, there's a table. Experimenting po. Maraming salamat po. Next, we have mix and match. What is the learning concept? Mixture is a combination of two or more physical materials such as solid, liquids, and gas materials. When the chemical system of a mixture has the same appearance and properties, it is called uniform or homogeneous mixture. And when the chemical system of a mixture has non-uniform appearance and different phases can be recognized, it is called non-uniform or heterogeneous mixture. And what are the things needed in our experiment number 3, which is mix and match? We have 4 pictures of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Medyo madali siya. Okay. Ito lang po yung naisip ko dito sa most essential learning competencies po. Ayan. Naglagay lang po ako ng 4 pictures ng homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Then since may prior knowledge na sila about mixture and homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture, medyo sinimplify ko na lang po ng konti, kaya ginawa ko na lang po ng true pictures para hindi naman medyo nakakasawa yung puro experiment na lang ang ginagawa nila. Then, ito po, nagbigay ako ng picture dyan. And things to do. The learner will be given 4 pictures of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Classify each picture according to the characteristic using Venn diagram below. And draw the pictures to the correct mixture po. Ayan. Venn diagram po ang ginamit ko dito para kahit papano po, medyo maiba naman yung gagawin ng bata na hindi muna sila mag-manipulate ng mga things, hindi sila maghahalo ng mga bagay-bagay sa loob ng mga bahay nila. Kaya ito muna, through Venn diagram lang po ang ating ginamit dito. Homogeneous and single appearance and heterogeneous, 2 or more appearance po. Ilalagay lang po nila yung picture dito. Then, ipapaliwanag lang po kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng mga pictures na yan. And what is the integrated process skills po na na-develop? Parang hindi siya integrated eh. No? Ang naano ko lang po kasi dito is classifying lang kasi they need to classify whether the things or whether the picture, whether the mixture is homogeneous or heterogeneous po. Next, we have, eto na po. Dito na ilan lang po yon sa week number 1 to 3, tatlo lang po yung na-prepare ko. And let us move on to the first quarter, week number 4 and week 5 and week number 6. And the content standard here is different techniques to separate mixtures, performance standard, separate desired materials from common and local products, and the most essential learning competencies is describe the techniques in separating mixtures such as decantation, evaporation, filtering, sieving, and using magnets. We are now on week number 4 to week number 6. And the things or the learning competencies, the most essential learning competencies that we need to discuss or to prepare a particular experiment to our students is the different techniques on how to separate mixtures. And this is the first one. And the title of the activity or the experiment rather is called Let It Sink and Separate. The learning concept is decantation. Decantation is a process of separating mixtures by removing a layer of liquid, generally one from which its precipitate has settled. A mixture of an insoluble solid in a liquid is allowed to stand. If the solid is denser than the liquid, it will settle at the bottom. It kept undisturbed for some time. This process where particles settle at the bottom of liquid is called sedimentation. Dito po kasi sa first topic in week number 4 to week number 6, dito pa lang po sa first experiment natin is dalawa ng techniques on how to separate mixture. We have the decantation and the sedimentation. Now, these are the things needed in our experiment number 1 in week number 4 to week number 6. We have sand or wood shavings. Ang wood shavings po kasi medyo mahirap siya, kaya ang replacement po natin dito is sand or buhangin. Next, 2 pieces of transparent glass na pwedeng gamitin in mixing the sand and water. Then, yung isa naman para po sa pag-transfer ng malinis na tubig doon sa isang glass po. Okay, we have water and spoon for stirring po. Okay, what are the things to do? Ito medyo paki-correct lang po ako dito kung may mga suggestion po kayo na mas madali siya. Okay, first things to do in our experiment number 1, let it sink and separate for week number 4 to 6 is gather all materials needed. And number 2 is place 1 spoon of sand or wood shavings into glass with half fill of water. Then number 3, mix sand or wood shavings and water. Leave the water to settle for 1 minute. Then attempt to pour off only clean water into another glass. Number 4, stop when the water starts to become cloudy or what we call translucent. Repeat the process by increasing the time. Make it 2 minutes to settle the sediments, then another 5 minutes to repeat again the process. Sa madaling salita po, yung una is imimix po muna natin yung sand or wood shavings into a glass with a half fill of water. Then, hintayin lang po, stir muna. Then, hintayin lang po natin na yung process in 1 minute. After ng 1 minute, i-record po yung observation. What can you say about the water in 1 minute? Then, ang second naman po is, ulitin nyo yung process, gawin po nating 2 minutes naman. Then, on the third process naman po, repeat lang, gawin naman po nating 5 minutes. Then record your observation in the table para malaman natin kung ang water ay masasabi nating transparent ba siya, translucent, or opaque na tinatawag po natin. Now, transparent, it is a light can pass through and the objects are clearly seen. Translucent is a semi-transparent or sea image, and light cannot pass through. Let us connect these three to the experiment called Let It Sink and Separate po. Comment lang po ng suggestion mamaya dito po sa experiment na ito. Of course, this is the table, sand and water. Ayun lang po. Time to settle, we have 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 5 minutes. Ngayon po, ang gagawin lang po dito ng bata, yung 1 minute po ba, di ba test number 1 yon, i-check lang siya. Yung 2 minutes po, nasa test 2 siya. Then in 5 minutes is test number 3. Ngayon po, on the next column po, i-check lang din po ng bata, dun sa 1 minute ba, yung water ba na na-settle down is transparent ba, translucent, or opaque na tinatawag natin, i-check lang po iyon. Then in 2 minutes po, transparent ba siya, translucent, or what else? And in 5 minutes po, kung transparent siya, translucent, or opaque po, yung magiging sagot lang nila. I-check lang po nila based on their observation after 1 minute, after 2 minutes, and after 5 minutes of mixing that na ginawa po nila ang tinatawag nating decantation and sedimentation po. Okay? What are the guide questions to this experiment? Can solid particles can be separated from right after mixing without letting it settle at the bottom of the glass? Number 2, did waiting a longer time to improve the clarity of water? Why? Do you think water becomes clear after decanting? Why? What could water be used for after decanting? Those are what we call the guide questions to our experiment number 1 in week number 4 to 6. And what are the integrated process skills po kaya? Sige, Ma'am Kat, sa ating mga ka-sensei.
Ayan. So, someone answered, Ma'am Escat answered, experimenting. Ma'am Antonio, observing, recording data, communicating. Ma'am Lily Betts, comparing, classifying, controlling variables, experimenting, interpreting data.
Okay
Ayan
po.
po.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Kat, at ating mga ka-sensei. Okay, lahat po yan nasagot natin. Maraming salamat po for the participation. Of course, don't forget to write the note. The appreciation of the materials and supervision of the parents and guardians are strictly advised. Okay, malapit na po tayong matapos sa ating mga experiment natin. Next, we have experiment number 2. We have magnetic or not. Learning concept is objects have magnetic property depending on its composition. There is a common misconception that magnet attracts all metals, largely due to ubiquity of steel in metal products. One method to test whether the object is magnetic or not through the use of permanent magnet. Magnets can be used as magnetic and non-magnetic materials. Ito medyo madali siya kasi kahit nakadikit sa mga bahay-bahay nyo, basta meron lang po kayong permanent magnet or simply magnet, yun po, ma-observe na natin or magagawa na natin yung experiment natin whether the object is magnetic or non-magnetic. Siyempre, magnetic siya kapag dumikit ang permanent metal or magnet to that object. Kapag hindi naman siya dumikit, automatic, it is non-magnetic. They are not attracted to magnet po. Ganun. Kasi sabi nga po natin, there's a common misconception kasi lahat daw po ng metal is large, pwedeng dumikit sa permanent magnet, pero there are some po na hindi naman siya. And these are the things needed. Ito po, depende na lang po sa inyo kung ano yung mga papagamit yun na mas available pa sa bahay. Kasi ito lang po yung mga naisip ko na pwedeng hindi dumikit at pwedeng dumikit sa permanent magnet. We have a small magnet, small permanent magnet, the nail, spoon, plastic bottle, chair made of wood, one piece of five peso coin, and one piece of 1 peso coin. Yun lang po yung mga materials na pwede natin gamitin. Pwede po kayo mag-replace ng mga materials na pwede gamitin na mas available po sa loob ng bahay. And these are the things to do. Gather the needed materials. List all the materials to be tested in table number 1. Predict first the materials you have is either magnetic or non-magnetic based from its appearance. Write your prediction in table number 1. And now, try to test if materials are magnetic or not by testing if they are attracted to permanent magnets or not. Okay? Yun po. Ito po ang ating table ulit, like what I presented in our first experiment, yung mystery combination in our first week up to third week. Ito po siya. We have, in our first column, we have the number. We have 1 to 6. It depends upon kung ilang materials ang pwede nating i-prepare sa ating mga students. We have the second column is are the materials being used. We have in third column naman, magnetic, magnetic or non-magnetic, yung prediction lang po, ilalagay natin sa third column kung ang prediction nila is magnetic or non-magnetic po. Yun ang ilalagay po natin. Kung ilalagay po ng bata, kung didikit ba, prediction lang po, puro prediction. Feeling ko ganito, didikit siya, feeling ko hindi. Ganun yung mangyayari lang po. Hindi mo na gagawin yung experiment. Magkakaroon muna ng prediction. Magnetic ba siya or non-magnetic? Kasi may ideya naman po kasi yung bata kasi binigay na natin yung learning concept eh. Kaya may ideya na sila ano yung magnetic and non-magnetic. Then, by making a prediction or what we call educated guess po. Then, dun naman sa observation, of course, yung actual tested po. Tested in a scientific process po. Kumbaga, nagkaroon na or natapos na ang ating experiment. Okay? Simple lang po ang ating magnetic or not and the materials are simply amazing na tinatawag po natin. Okay, what are the guide questions in our experiments? We have the magnetic or not. We have which materials are attracted to magnet and why? Which materials are not attracted to magnet and why? And what way of separating mixtures being presented in the activity? Okay, Ma'am Kat, what are the integrated process skills kaya ang pwede o pwedeng ma-develop ng bata in our experiment called magnetic or not po?
Ayan, from Ma'am Lilibes Garzon, experimenting and hypothesis, formulating hypothesis. From Ma'am Gina Angeles, experimenting. Ayan, and
Okay.
then so far
Okay po. Ma'am Kat, sino po yung active sa atin? Kasi sabihin natin kay Sir Russell kung sino yung mga active para sa ating Grab Food.
Ayan, syempre sila Ma'am Lilibet Carson, sila Ma'am Angeles, sila Ma'am Lourdes,
Tsaka
sila
si Ma'am Escat ba yun?
Ma'am Escat, sila Ma'am Lorena Aguinaldo, Ma'am Kalubay,
Wala, ang
ayan,
dami
sila
na,
po yung
ma'am.
sila po yung
Mga virtual Grab Food natin, Ma'am Kat. Okay, maraming salamat, Ma'am Kat. Mga ka-sensei, maraming salamat. Okay,
May sharing po tayo.
Okay,
Ay,
sige
sorry.
po. Sige po, ma'am.
Sige po.
Po.
Sunset oils po, ginamit ko din dyan. Natuwa yung mga bata na may mga small stones na dumidikit. Na-infer din nila na mataas ang iron content ng mga bato na yan. Ayan.
Yes po.
Thank you, ma'am.
Maraming salamat, ma'am, for sharing po. And we have always note the appreciation of the materials and supervision of the parents or guardians are strictly advised. Next, my second to the last experiment that I prepared is what we call filtration challenge. It is the learning concept is filtration is a process of separating suspended solid matter to a liquid using a filter or filtering medium. The inner surface of the funnel is lined with a filter paper. The mixture is carefully poured to the filter paper with the aid of a glass rod. The solid particles called the residue remain in the filter paper while the clear liquid called the filtrate passes through the filter paper and it is collected to another container. Ito pong filtration, ano po kaya yung mga available na materials na matatagpuan po sa bahay natin, o bahay ng mga estudyante natin? Pwede po kayong mag-isip din, pwede nating baguhin to. It's up to you po if you want to use or if you want to replace these materials needed in our filtration challenge po. We have 2 pieces of transparent glass, a piece of clean and white cloth. Pag po wala tayong filter paper, pwede po natin gamitin ang ating a piece of clean and white cloth po. 1 spoonful of sand, water, and funnel po. Yan po yung ating things needed na feeling ko naman po available naman po sa ating mga bahay-bahay. And what are the things to do? Prepare the materials needed. Put sand in a glass of water, stir it. On the other glass, put the funnel, then place the clean and white cloth inside the funnel, then pour the water with sand. Wait for a few minutes, repeat the process 3 times, or kahit po hindi 3 times, pwede naman, kahit pa ulit-ulit para ma-filtrate yung maduming muddy water or maduming water, or kaya naman paulit-ulit kahit ilang times para ma-witness lang ng bata na ay, lumilinis pala siya through filtration po. Observe what happens po. Okay, these are the guide questions. What happened to the muddy water after filtering it? Why? After filtering it many times, what did you observe to the muddy water? And number 3, write the uses of filtration in our everyday lives. Those are the guide questions to our filtration challenge po. And the integrated process skills is experimenting because it involves some because it involves the materials being used, the procedures or the step-by-step procedures being used, and of course, in using carefully the materials needed po. And also the collecting variables, nandyan din siya. And note, the appreciation of the materials and supervision of the parents or guardians are strictly advised. Okay, ito po. I think this is my last experiment or prepared experiment in our most essentials learning skills po. We have Zib Mi Baby. The learning concept is sieving. Sieving is one of the techniques on how to separate mixture. It is defined as to pass through a sorting device like a screen to sort, separate the coarse from the fine particles, or to break up lumps. It is also used to separate smaller solid particles from larger solid particles. And what are the available? Ito lang po, napakasimple lang ng ating things needed. And I think these materials are available in the respective home or house ng mga students po natin. We have the flour, harina na pwede, baking powder kung pwede. Basta connected po sa flour na pwede natin gamitin, na pwede natin ma-strain, pwede rin. Strainer, kahit hindi na tayo pwede, kahit wala ng sifter. Kasi po, sifter ang pwede natin gamitin or the equipment being used in sieving, pero mahirap na yon. Kaya gumamit tayo ng replacement, which is the strainer. And the plastic plate. Kung wala namang plastic plate, pwede naman plate na made in glass. Parang ganun lang siya. Okay. What are the things to do? We have to prepare the materials needed using the strainer, sieve or sift the dry mixture, which is the flour, and identify the mixture being used in the activity. And what are the guide questions to this experiment? We have number 1, based on the activity, how can dry mixtures can be separated? Describe how separate dry mixtures. And of course, what device can be used in sieving dry mixtures? Okay, dito po kasi sa number 3, baka medyo maguluhan yung bata kasi in our actual, kasi sabi po natin, gagamit tayo ng materials na available po lang sa bahay. Strainer lang po yung masasabi nating masasala yung dry mixture na yon. Pwede po nating baguhin to, it depends upon you. Kasi the device being used in sieving dry mixture is sifter po. Baka po medyo maano yung bata, baka pag nag-ano ng grade 7, ang tawag po dyan is strainer. Actually po yung strainer po is replaceable lang po sa sifter na tinatawag natin. Okay po? And what are the integrated process skills? We have experimenting and collecting variables. And always note, the appreciation of the materials and supervision of the parents or guardians are strictly advised. And for that, yan lang po ang na-prepare ko. Hindi ko po ginawa lahat yung 15 days na yon kasi parang makukulangan tayo ng oras. Yung mga alam ko pong may mga available materials lang po sa loob ng bahay. Yun lang po ang ginawan ko ng experiment. And like what said a while ago po, pwedeng gamiting worksheet o pwedeng basihan po ang experiment na to in making a worksheet or activity sheet po. And for that, before I end my talk for today, iiwan ko po sa inyo ito. If you figure it all out today, what would be the point of tomorrow? Enjoy the process of being a work in progress. Like what I've said a while ago, we are doing a process. Ever since ang mundo natin, ang ginagawa natin ay may proseso. Especially in times of pandemic, in the times that we are experiencing today na very hard talaga, na super duper na sobrang hirap sa ating lahat. But always remember po na hindi lang tayo pwedeng gumawa ng proseso. Para lang puro tayo ng proseso. Dapat malaman din natin na ang ginagawa ba nating proseso ay may progress. Dapat we are working with process of being a work in a progress na merong development and improvement na mangyayari not only to the pupils but also to the teachers na frontliners sa mga panahon ngayon. And with that, thank you so much and keep safe everyone. Maraming salamat.
Ayan. Thank you, Sir Benjo. In behalf of all the teachers who listened today in our webinar, we would like to extend our gratitude for your time and effort, sir. Thank you po.
Maraming
Ayan.
salamat.
Opo, and then pasensya na po mga ka-sensei kung hindi na po tayo mag-entertain muna ng mga questions. We can just directly message Sir Benjo if there are things that we would like to clarify. Okay lang ba yun, sir?
Come again po, ma'am.
Okay lang po ba, sir, kung ipipm ka na lang nila, sir, kapag may mga
Opo.
tanong?
Yes po, walang problema yon. Mas maganda po wala nang tanong ngayon. Okay po, maraming salamat. Opo.
Let me just read our virtual certificate of recognition. So, we are so grateful for the time given to us by Sir Benjo. Certificate of recognition is given to Sir Benjo S. Mallari for sharing his first speaker during the Katryn sessions for or what we call as a webinar series with the topic developing science process skills or SENSEI for grade held on June 30 at the division of teachers. Given this first 30th day of June 2020 via Google Meet, signed by Mr. Alejandro G. Ibanez, CESO 6. Ayan. So, thank you po, Sir Benjo, for your time and your expertise po. And I think, sir, would like to give us a very
Hello po, sir.
Hi, sir. Congrats.
Salamat po.
Thank you. Yan. So, first, sir, maraming salamat sa pag-accept ng invitation na mag-serve as our resource speaker. And then, ang ganda ng discussion talagang ang daming, ang daming activities na na-present ni Sir Benjo. So, hindi na tayo, mga teachers, hindi na po tayo magkukulangan or maghahanap pa ng mga activities. No? Doon sa presentation ni Sir Benjo, talaga naman from week 1 hanggang sa dulo. No? So maraming salamat, Sir Benjo. I hope na umpisa pa lang ito. Alam ko kahit medyo malayo ka, nasa
Pampanga po ako ngayon.
Sir Benjo. No? So ginawa niya pa rin talaga yung, yung kanyang best para makapag-deliver sa atin ng magandang presentation or discussion.
Apa.
Sabi ko nga, I hope tong Project SENSEI, hindi lang siya isang beses. So gagawin natin every quarter para it is a sort of, kasi parang i-refresh natin. Upgrade, upscale, di ba? So review. So yun yung gagawin natin. So malaking tulong dito sa mga teachers. So thank you, sir. So I hope na susunod, pwede ko ulit makuha.
Yes po, basta ikaw, sir. Sir, thank you po for the trust and support na binigay niyo po sa akin. Salamat po sa trust, sir.
Class picture po tayo. Pakita na po tayo.
And mag-class picture na po daw tayo mga ka-sensei. Open na po natin ang ating video para masama po tayo sa ating class picture.
Ma'am Kat, salamat. Tsaka sa participants po, salamat.
Open po ng camera.
Actually, Sir Benjo, ang dami na pong nag-message dito na they are very happy and very thankful na kayo po ang nag-speak ngayon kasi ang dami daw po talaga nilang natutunan.
Salamat po. Thank you so much po.
Okay, game po tayo. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Isa pa po, one more po. Ready po, teachers. 1, 2. Thank you very much po.
Okay, salamat po.
Evaluation po, ipopost na lang po sa group. Dito na rin po sa group chat.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
lang po, Ma'am Kat.
Ay, sige po.
Bukas po, anong oras ang resume natin?
Opo. Yung plenary po natin sa hapon, so parang plenary / closing. However, si Ma'am Maika ay magsasend siya ng message sa akin ngayon to confirm kung matutuloy sa hapon or morning. So pakihintay na lang po doon sa group po, sa Facebook group po ng Bota Science Teachers yung announcement. Morning or afternoon po. Kasi
Okay po, sir.
meron pong bigla ang meeting sila Ma'am Maika. Si Ma'am Maika po yung ating special guest po para bukas.
Thank you po, Sir Russell. Salamat po.
Thank you po.
That concludes our webinar series po. Don't forget to answer our evaluation form po in our group page. So again, I am Ma'am Katryn Tan po, your moderator for today, and thank you and happy lunch na po. Sige po.